Future trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tech Talk Live from Chicago. It is Wednesday, April 26th, 1:50 in the Central Time Zone.
Live
from Chicago.
Live studio audience.
After
Is that right?
years. It's
years on hiatus.
We're back, baby. We're back. All right.
Well, very excited. We're all very excited. Everybody's excited.
We're pumped. All right. Down to some charts. We have
We have two requests. Two. You had two. I had two. That makes four.
There we go.
So we just did two requests. That's it. Two.
Number one.
What do you want to get started with? So Zach Attack.
Our colleague Zach.
Zach.
Oh, June Class 3.
What do you think of June here?
It's not looking too good here. Yeah.
I don't know if that's Zach.
I don't
hear that.
Yeah, I don't think you'd appreciate that one too much. There's not a whole lot of...
They just upticked.
Nope. Not a whole lot of...
Upticked by 3 ticks. 17 to 20.
Not a whole lot of support, though. So if we're going to find support, it's going to have to be right here.
There you go.
Because there's nothing on this chart that tells us there's any kind of stopping power as of right now.
Yeah.
1720 last.
So, this bad boy here for a while has been in a nice healthy downtrend, or channel, if you will, and broke out of it yesterday, confirmed it today. I guess the only thing that kind of sits in the back of my mind for why we could kind of perk back up, we seem to be slowing down a little bit in cash.
It's true.
Still trading a lot. I think last week, record week, in terms of volume.
Yeah. 15 loads today?
Yeah, no, I think that was just in the barrel.
In the barrel.
And there was plenty of blocks. Don't discount the blocks.
It's true.
But I guess the one thing I would want to point out is that this did cross into, according to the RSI, Relative Strength Index, oversold territory when it crosses into the blue. The buy signal from that, if you're just looking at that, would be if it crossed back over the blue.
Gotcha.
So that doesn't mean it can't just go sit above.
Just like we had back here.
Right in here. Right. Look at that, Richard. Nice little spot by you.
There you go.
So, like I said, it crossed through there. It's got to come back into it for it to be, quote, a buy signal. But yeah, I mean, we could see a little bit of a short covering rally. And I don't know. If we did, would you want to sell into it?
If we had a short covering rally, would I want to sell into it? Down here towards $17, what was the low today?
What was today's low? Let's take a look. Hang on. Hold. 1706. 1706.
I don't know if I'd want to sell into a rally here.
Okay. I
really don't.
So current cash after today, 1531.
Yeah.
You don't want to sell into the rally. Let's say we go to 17.5, 1775.
1775, $18. Yeah, I think I'd sell into that rally.
Okay, so you'd want to see this market basically kind of V-bottom this move, and then get back towards the upper part of this channel.
Right.
Then you're a seller.
And kind of get back into all this little consolidation that we had here, and then become a seller of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if it breaks out into this on top of the trend here, I don't think I'd want to.
Okay.
I'd wait to see how long that momentum carried itself.
Okay.
Personal opinion, but
Be
close to $18, and I think I'd be a reseller of this.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. So you're thinking that we could potentially, let's say we get the signal here, it crosses back through here. Let's say we get that. We could go back into here, and you'd want to be looking at a seller of it.
I think so.
All right.
Towards $18.
Okay. Because ADPI, it seemed relatively bearish.
Yeah, not very many bullish indications coming out of that meeting.
It is what it is.
It is.
So, all right. So Hammer you forgot to bring the hammer.
I know.
What's the hammer doing right now? It's so lonely.
The hammer's going to leave June alone right now. I think
the hammer's leaving June alone.
We're leaving it alone.
We're leaving it alone right now. We're going to wait to see what this happens right here with the RSI. So put it on hold. Bam. Sorry, Zach. This one also came at request.
That's right.
From Seymour B. Is that right?
Our good friend Seymour.
Okay.
We'll look at some Dec Corn.
Dec Corn. What do you want to do, Richard?
Richard. 550 became, for the longest time that we had going back into early March, it became a little bit of a support region, and now it seems like a little bit of a resistance.
What was once support is now resistance.
Correct.
Yikes.
I don't think I would quite be a buyer of December right now. But again, just kind of like looking at June, there's nothing below us here to tell us that there's any kind of support necessarily coming.
I think if you want to be a new seller, you have 1-2, settles off the low, right? We retrace a good chunk of that today, but this isn't that big of a range either. This is what is this, a nickel?
Right.
It's not even a nickel. So what is this low here? 541. So if you get it close to at 540 or lower, you could get in like another leg down, right? So, but to your point, 550, that's an area where the market doesn't like to sit still at.
Right.
So, we took off from there, did it there, so it's a price point where the market likes to move away from.
I think what makes me nervous about today is the last 2 days, as you can see with the wicks there, we've, made some new lows, bounced off of those, settled, made some new lows. The next day, bounced off. Today, closed. That candle does not look very pretty.
So what it could be doing here Just hold on.
Think you're making a little bit of a
Hold on here, Seymour. It could be it might. If it does, let's say it does, let's say we have kind of like an inside day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So inside the body here, that would be more of a bearish indicator because it's post a pretty healthy break, right? This is 20 cents in 3 days. Let's say you got a little bit of a pennant here that's especially up against a price point that just was pretty supportive. Now it's becoming resistance.
Yeah.
If you have that pennant type formation, that's typically, a continuation, which in this case would be lower.
Okay.
So yeah, tomorrow's like an inside day. So let's say it's basically unched. Maybe you have like a doji, like a candle like this right here or something like that. Maybe even that. Any one of those I think would qualify.
Okay.
But you'd start to be continuation, which would be another leg down. Not bad for the dairy producer though.
No.
You gotta that's a glass half full.
It's true.
You gotta take a glass half full around here. Come
Yeah.
on, dude.
If milk's gonna go lower,
You didn't even bring the hammer. Well, the hammer's not buying. Like the hammer only buys stuff. You're not buying that chart.
No, I'm not buying that chart.
You're not buying June. You're not buying.
The hammer needs to learn to sell, but it just can't quite get there yet.
Well, that's why it's got its friend, the bearish bazooka, which is also at home. But you may want to look at buying this one.
Nonfat, little spot.
This is spot non-fat. We've looked at this one before. This is the daily, so it's a little tougher because it doesn't have the candles, right? So we only have like the data point for the close.
Right.
But I wanted to show this one because it recently. What's interesting about it is that when you look at some of these momentum indicators, they typically will have like in some cases, multiple crosses around zero, but in this case, it's making like a higher low right here, right? So it tried, bumped up against zero, came back, but it's not getting back down to where it was here. And now it went back to zero and then crossed over, meaning now you're having higher closes than the preceding, like in this case, this is 12 days. Yeah, this is 12 days. So you're getting, the buyers are starting to pick up some momentum here, I guess is what's happening, right?
Here's my question about the RSI indicator. Right now, we've kind of flatlined the past 3 days. Does that give any kind of an indication looking forward to the next couple of trade sessions? Or is that just literally saying that, hey, we haven't moved at all, we're not trading very much right now, it's just flat?
Yeah, I think from the RSI standpoint, again, if you look at it from like how you would look at some charts technically, it's got a high, and it's got the same type of formation here. It's got a higher low, right? And so it crossed over, it went oversold, came back, tried to do it again and failed, right? And so that's another indication that buyers are gaining some momentum, even though it doesn't look like it on the chart because you're not going up per se, you're just trading sideways, but you broke out of a pretty major downtrend and are now maintaining that breakout.
Now, would you call this a higher low or a lower high? Because we are technically we haven't reversed ourselves to go higher.
A higher low.
Wouldn't it be lower high? Because
I'm just looking at these.
Oh, okay. I thought we were
right
okay.
Right
Gotcha.
there.
All right.
Come on, Richard. Right there.
All right. So that's the higher low. I gotcha.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's a good question.
Right.
It's an excellent question. So yeah, I think this is, and what's another one. I know we looked at some of these moving averages too.
Yeah.
So you're bumping up against the 50-day here. You get a close over that. I think then the 100-day becomes another target, which futures are kind of telling us. They've been putting around that mid 120 area anyways, right? So like spot, I think could go there and has the potential to do so. I think if it does, starts to go, you got to be super careful of, I think kind of just like a retracement that like if people look at it and say this is overdone, you got to sell into it. But we've certainly seen spot do that before in the past. So I think this is one we got to be super mindful of.
And so you're thinking if we break through to the 100-day moving average, we're hitting about $1.40.
I think you got to be really careful of that.
Okay.
So we shall see.
Yes.
We shall see. The hammers, it's like getting ready to strike.
Right.
It's not there yet, but
it's not quite red hot.
It's not red hot.
This is what we looked at 2 weeks ago, right?
Was it 2 weeks ago?
I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, this is definitely the one we were looking at, the Elliott wave on Nov Feeders.
So I think what we were looking at was we had this drawn to where this is call it like wave 2, and then we had wave 3 kind of ending right here with the expectation that we were going to come back kind of down around here.
Correct.
Just didn't.
Yeah, close.
What makes me a little kind of like nervous is the right word about this chart is that, so it seemed to really accelerate. I mean, if you want to use like the closes right there, right? So let's just get rid of that for a second. Oops. Where's the delete button? Page has us with the most
technologically advanced keyboard.
I don't have a tech degree, so I don't know. I need you to do that for me.
Look at this. No wires.
No wires. Batteries only. And I learned today, by the way, she was telling us, there's quadruple A batteries.
Learn something new every day in Chicago.
I thought there was just triple A. Quadruple A.
Quadruples. And now we got things with no wires.
No wires. It's nuts. Look at this mouse. It's not thinking anything.
Living in 2040 over here.
Unbelievable.
Anyway.
So, anyways, it broke. So it's kind of climbing its way out of this upward trend, right? And what I think is interesting too is that you're getting somewhat of I think you can call this a head and shoulders here on the momentum, right? So it tried to gain some, it tried to continue and failed to do so here, right? So what that's saying is that the bulls are kind of losing steam. So see if that works. It didn't work. Oh, look at that, Richard.
We got the pen. So you're saying shoulder?
Yeah.
Head?
Yeah.
Shoulder?
Correct.
Okay.
Bam. All three of them. You drilled them. And then here's another one. Here's another one. You ready? So the RSI would say that we crossed into overbought territory right there. But the sell signal would be once you get across, through it. Right. So
which we bounced off.
We were looking at June earlier, where it crossed into the oversold, but it hasn't crossed back. So you want to wait. So it's tried here. If you get a healthy cross through there, and let's say you get back into here, between the head and shoulders and the momentum, you've got this that's getting broken right there. Now you've got some of the momentum indicators telling you that the bears are, or I should say, the bulls are starting to kind of lose control a little bit. This has been on quite the run. Yeah. So a retracement lower,
Well, and you got a new high close right now after today. I mean, that's looking pretty strong like bull, yeah?
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it opens tomorrow. But I think you got to be super careful of that sideways trade, though.
Right. Yeah.
Because while you did get a new high close, you still you attempted to break out of the trend. If it continues to kind of trade just like that in that direction, I think you got to be really careful of that.
Right.
Because then these will start to turn lower, and then you start to lose that momentum. So, and like I said, it's been on a huge. Look at this. It's just been on a tear.
Yeah.
You put beef in your freezer?
Yeah. I mean, after this, I think everyone's going to want to before it gets too darn high.
No, don't buy them. Okay.
But don't buy that. But
you're on the carnivore diet, though, aren't you?
It's all right. We got to add as much beef as we possibly can.
How's that going for you, by the way?
Pretty good. No carbs.
Chicken. So what'd you have for breakfast this morning?
No breakfast, but lunch, chicken.
You don't eat breakfast?
No breakfast. Water and coffee.
What about bone broth? You drink that stuff still?
No, tried that once. That was
disgusting.
It was really bad.
Yeah, he used to sit next to me and drink bone broth at lunch. That was it. Maggie. Like M&Ms or something like that.
Yeah, Maggie and I tried that. It wasn't good.
M&Ms and bone broth.
Wasn't good.
That could be the title of the show.
There you go. Well, it's been good to be back. Glad we could do this in studio. We're pumped.
Live studio audience.
That's right. Zach and Seymour, we appreciate you guys reaching out. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week. If you have any recommendations, please shoot them our way. Be happy to look at them. Until then, have a good weekend.
See you guys.
Gave him a little wink.
Awesome.
Pumped.